March 16, 1941, midnight. North Atlantic, 300 miles west of Iceland. The sea heaves like a living beast, black waves crashing against the hulls of convoy HX-112. Salt spray stings the eyes of weary sailors on watch, their breaths fogging in the biting cold. Suddenly, a periscope slices the surface, silent, deadly. "Torpedo!" The cry pierces the night as a streak of bubbles races toward the SS-JB White. Explosions rip through the water, flames erupting from the merchant ship's bowels, illuminating twisted metal and men scrambling into lifeboats. U-99, commanded by the infamous Otto Kretschmer, Germany's silent Otto, lurks below, its crew tense in the dim red glow of the control room. Klaxons wail faintly in the distance as Allied destroyers HMS Walker and HMS Vanek charge through the swells, depth charges ready to unleash hell. Imagine yourself there, gripping the rail as the ocean turns to fire. Admiral Karl Dönitz's wolfpacks prowl these lanes, a swarm of Type 7 U-boats coordinating like predators in the dark. Their orders? Starve Britain into submission. Convoys laden with food, fuel, and munitions become easy prey, vanishing beneath the waves. Month after month, the toll mounts, hundreds of ships sunk, thousands of lives lost in the icy abyss. But how do these ghosts strike unseen? The answer lies in a machine of shadows, whispering secrets across the ether. As the Allies grope blindly, a code defies all attempts to break it.
Berlin, Kriegsmarine headquarters, late afternoon. Encrypted radio signals crackle through the air. Admiral Karl Dönitz leans over a map of the Atlantic, red pins marking fresh kills. His U-boat aces, Kretschmer, Schepke, Preen, report nightly triumphs, their positions and targets shrouded in perfect darkness. The weapon enabling this invisible war sits quietly in every submarine's radio room, the Enigma machine. Picture it, a typewriter-like device with rotors spinning like clockwork gears, lamps lighting up letters in unpredictable patterns. Each morning, German operators set their rotors according to a secret key list. 3 wheels chosen from 5, plugged with cables, a reflector tuned just so. 4 rotor versions for the Atlantic Fleet multiply the possibilities to astronomical numbers, 158 million combinations. British code breakers at the Government Code and Cipher School try everything. Captured code books from weather ships yield nothing lasting. Pencil and paper attacks falter against the daily key changes. You can almost feel their frustration. Convoy routes guessed too late. Escorts racing to empty ocean while men drown miles away. Yet across the channel, in a quiet Victorian mansion hidden behind barbed wire and Nissen huts, a small group refuses to accept defeat. Mathematicians, linguists, chess champions, crossword experts, Britain's sharpest minds gather at Bletchley Park. Among them, a young Cambridge don named Alan Turing stares at seized Enigma rotors, his mind already racing towards something impossible. He sees patterns where others see chaos. A breakthrough is coming, but it will demand a machine no one has ever built.
Bletchley Park, Buckinghamshire, winter 1940. Frost clings to the windows of hut 8. Alan Turing paces in the chill, coat collar turned up, pipe smoke curling around equations scrawled on blackboards. Beside him, Gordon Welchman sketches wiring diagrams that look more like spiderwebs than circuits. They know the Enigma's weakness lies in its own design. No letter ever encrypts to itself. A single crib, a guessed plaintext phrase, can unravel the day's settings if tested fast enough. But testing billions of possibilities by hand, impossible. So they dream of a machine that thinks faster than any human. Turing calls it the Bombe, not an explosive, but a relentless hunter of patterns. British tabulating machine company engineers in Letchworth hammered together the first prototype, 30 sets of Enigma rotors spinning in perfect synchrony, driven by a roaring electric motor. Bronze drums whir, brushes scrape, relays click like machine gun fire. The first bomb, nicknamed Victory, arrives at Bletchley in March 1940. Wrens in uniform feed it menus of logical contradictions, watching lights flicker across the back as it races through thousands of rotor positions per second. You stand there in the hut, ears ringing from the noise, heart pounding as the machine suddenly stops. A hit. The settings for that day's naval Enigma spill out. For the first time, Dönitz's orders lie naked before Allied eyes. But the U-boats are evolving. A fourth rotor is coming. The darkness threatens to return thicker than ever. March 1, 1942. The Atlantic becomes a graveyard once more. A sudden, chilling silence falls over the airwaves. The decrypted messages that had been flowing into Hut 8 like clear spring water vanish. Dönitz has struck back. Every U-boat in the Atlantic Fleet now carries the new four-rotor naval Enigma, nicknamed M4. The extra rotor multiplies the key space by 26, turning an already astronomical puzzle into something that mocks human ingenuity. Convoy after convoy disappears. In the first 20 days of the new regime, 95 ships, 500,000 tons, are sent to the bottom. The Black Pit, that vast stretch of ocean beyond air cover range, becomes a killing ground. Sailors whisper of invisible wolves. You can feel the dread in every radio room. The escorts arrive too late, find only burning oil and floating corpses. At Bletchley, panic is tightly controlled. Turing and his team stare at the new beast. The Bombe was designed for 3 rotors. 4? It would require 10 times the machines, 10 times the electricity, 10 times the women to run them. Resources Britain barely has. Yet they refuse to yield. Welkman proposes a desperate leap. Build a much larger Bombe, one that can handle the 4th rotor by brute force and cribs simultaneously. Engineers work around the clock. New machines, code-named Jumbo and Gigantic, are ordered. Meanwhile, captured U-boat weather ships and chance seizures of codebooks buy precious weeks. The darkness is thickest in the spring of 1943. Dönitz boasts that his U-boats are winning the war alone, but the Allies are about to strike back with everything they have. May 1943. The turning point arrives in silence. American engineers flood Bletchley with new 4-rotor Bombes, faster, taller, more relentless. Over 300 machines now thunder day and night across secret outstations, tended by thousands of wrens whose fingers fly over plugs and switches. Captured pinch operations, daring boarding parties on U-boats like U-559 deliver the final codebooks. The blackouts end. Suddenly, Room 40 in the Admiralty receives clear text. U-boat positions, convoy sightings, patrol grids. Escort commanders read Dönitz's own words before the wolves even dive. You watch the reversal unfold on the plotting tables. Convoy ONS-5, 42 merchant ships, sails into a storm of 30 U-boats. But this time, the hunters become hunted. Long-range liberators with centimetric radar close the air gap. Destroyers and frigates, HMS Vedette, HMS Loosestrife charge through towering waves, hedgehog mortars spitting ahead, depth charges rolling off the sterns. Explosions bloom beneath the surface. U-192, gone. U-954, gone. 7 U-boats sunk in a single week. Dönitz pulls his packs back, stunned. "We have lost the Battle of the Atlantic," he confesses to his staff. The unbroken code is broken. The wolfpacks scatter. Ships reach Britain in waves, food, fuel, tanks, men. The invasion of Europe becomes possible. Alan Turing walks the grounds of Bletchley one quiet evening, exhausted, brilliant, unknowing that his impossible machine has shaved years off the war. Millions will live because shadows were pierced by light. In the unforgiving depths, the tide has turned forever.